Oh, it's cold in here. What is this place?
Are you blind? It's a freezer.
Oh, no way. That's way too cold for me. I'll freeze solid in seconds. Sorry, but I'm afraid I'll have to pass on this one. I'm going to leave the rest to you.
Oh, whoa. It's really cold in here.
Hey, you don't need to be in here. You had a fever just a little bit ago. You should stay outside. We got this.
No, I'm fine. My fever's gone now.
But...
Huh?
No! Why did it suddenly close? Ah! The knob's frozen!
But why?
It looks like the pipe next to it broke, and...
Hey, Lotus! You're out there, right? Open the door!
What do you want? What's going on?
The door won't open! Try opening it from that side, please!
Oh, fine. Like, if you say so. Hold on. It's no use. It won't budge. You've got more people in there. You figure it out.
What?
Oh.
God damn it.
Anyway, let's find a way out. If we don't get moving, we're gonna be permanent residents.
Two heads are better than none. I'm sure we'll figure something out.
There's 3 heads in here.
I was about to say, there's 3 of us in here.
I guess Santa doesn't count.
You're right.
Actually, no, June doesn't count.
Yeah, June does not count.
Let's just take a good look around this room, okay?
Right.
It's definitely June that doesn't count, because June says completely insane things left and right, whereas, like, Santa was like, hey, there's a window that's in the way. Let's pick up this table and smash it. I'm like, that's pragmatism. It was bullshit.
Pragmatism.
I mean, it was bullshit glass you can't break, but still. We're freezing to death and it sucks and we're gonna die, and it's like the end of Fargo Season 2. Watch Fargo, it's really good.
Can you... Okay.
Up, trap door.
You don't have your knife anymore?
Oh, I guess not.
Okay.
What did I use the knife for?
Nothing?
Is it just out there somewhere and not with us?
Yes.
Weird.
Rope.
It's a rope.
That's
Oh,
what
I
I
have a
expect.
knife.
That's what I... Oh.
Oh, just wasn't showing up in the corner. Okay, that's fine.
I mean, a
Got
rope
that.
is what I expect to find in a freezer.
Yeah, a rope. And a water bottle. That's
Frozen water
apparently.
bottle?
I assume. A water bottle.
Yes, it is.
Thanks for
off,
your input,
June.
June. There isn't anything else here that looks useful.
What about that money? Was that money? I don't
It's
know.
not money. It's
Dang.
probably flour or something. I say randomly guessing with
What's in there?
no real basis. It's meat. It's a thing. Dry ice for some reason.
Dry ice is just frozen carbon dioxide, right?
Yeah, it is.
I wonder how warm it has to get for it to turn back into gas again.
Hell if I know. How is that gonna help us anyway?
Oh, well, I figured we might be able to use it to get out of here.
How?
Carbon dioxide sublimation point is negative 109 degrees.
The fuck is
Any warmer than that, and it'll turn into gas. Any lower, and it becomes a solid.
This girl is like, I know about science. Also, Titanic crashed from curses. Like,
I mean, knowing the freezing points of like water and carbon dioxide and stuff isn't totally insane. I'm just wondering how it's so cold in here. It must be just extra cold in that freezer.
I mean,
maybe
probably.
maybe it's even colder inside that thing. Because we can't survive at negative 100 degrees, can we? Of any scale?
I don't know. I think humans could survive negative. I think
For how long?
for how long is the question?
I'm touching stuff with my hands.
Well, because it's like heat. It's like humans can be in like I think it's 50 Celsius, which is like 120. I think like 120 Fahrenheit is like the max humans can stay in for a limited amount of time before they just die of heat.
A die of heat.
Like they just have a heat death.
Yeah, the heat death of our universe.
But which is, you know, it's a little more than 50 Celsius with the heat death of the universe. But
Yeah.
But with cold, it's the same thing. Like you just can't live in it for a long period of time. But you can certainly, what's it called? But you can certainly be in it, you know, for at least a little bit.
Oh, how do you know that?
School? We all went to school.
Despite my looks, I'm the the queen of random knowledge.
Looks bad to mess up when you're showing off. Oh, you're so cold your mouth's going numb?
Yes, that's fight.
You're just
What?
doing that on purpose, aren't you?
Come on, guys. Don't you think that's kind of weird? I wonder why it doesn't turn into a liquid first.
Wait, what?
He wanted out of the freezer now. It did seem rather odd.
Wait,
It is kind of weird.
But it can turn into a liquid. Carbon dioxide turns to liquid if you put it under high enough pressure.
I remember pressure temperature diagrams. I've looked at these before,
are
yeah.
we really having an argument about carbon monoxide?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Yeah, there are like XY graphs you can look at for different substances like water and carbon dioxide, where you can just straight up see, like, if I'm at this temperature and I change the pressure this much, what happens to its state? Or if I stay at the same pressure and change its temperature, what happens to its state and stuff like that.
Oh,
There's literally like they drew lines that show like the contact points, like an Venn diagram basically of when it passes from water to liquid to air and stuff like that.
huh.
And so at lower pressures, the parts that make the water state, I mean at lower temperatures, the gas state and the solid state are just touching each other on the graph, and water just pinches out and stops being there. And in the higher pressure areas, there is a whole zone where it does become a liquid. And like there's other stuff like that too, where like you can make water directly become I think you can make water go directly from gas to solid also and stuff like that. It's just way weirder conditions.
People are weird. Stop doing that stuff. Just let nature
Stop
be.
it, science!
Yeah,
You've
stop.
gone too far. You've managed to mathematically chart something that's really basic.
Stop messing with
What are
the
you,
elements.
crazy?
Just
What
leave
do you
them
want to go
alone.
to space or something? Is that why you're doing this?
You ain't going to space. We don't have the budget.
Yeah, we've never been to space. It's fake.
It's
just
all
like the Titanic and mummies. They're all fake. They're all invented by the Hollywood bourgeoisie.
bourgeoisie.
How long did it take you to figure out that that's how that word is actually said?
Bourgeois?
Wouldn't you see it in books and stuff, and it would be like, what's burgoise?
Burgoise?
Because that's how it's spelled, is like burgoise. It's like, I would never be like, yeah, bourgeois. Like, I never realized that the fucking, like, what the Madonna song music or whatever is like when she says bourgeoisie, I'm like, wait, that's the same word for that I see in all these random books? It's like turquoise with a B.
I think I probably first discovered it hearing before reading.
Oh.
So I think I heard the word bourgeois, and then
bourgeois!
like, I think the correlation was I couldn't read the word, so I just defaulted to saying bourgeois. And someone's like, yeah, just like, that's the word, Andrew. Oh, I guess that's how you spell bourgeois.
Where it's like, you sound like you're making something up. Like,
Yeah. Well, you are. France is made up.
yeah,
like,
they're not real either.
French never existed.
They're also invented, like the mummies.
French mummies.
California's the only state that actually exists.
California's not a
Everything
state.
outside of this valley isn't real. It's fantasies told by Hollywood.
We're a country.
Hollywood actually has a rich cinematic universe called Earth. They invented everything outside of California.
The ECU.
The Earth cinematic universe.
Can we put like every single movie that isn't comic book movies into the ECU? Like Mission Impossible and The Mummy are both part of the ECU.
The historical cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Also known as just the universe.
The UCU?
The UC.
The Universe Cinematic Universe.
The Universal Cinematic Universe. The For Reals Cinematic Universe. Totes Legit Cinematic Universe.
Damn straight Cinematic Universe.
Why do they keep saying damn straight?
But at 1 atmosphere, normal air pressure,
It won't
Excuse
turn
me, can
into
you-
a liquid.
Can I
right?
have? Could I buy 3 atmospheres? How much is that? $6?
That's right. Instead of melting, it'll do what's called sublimating and change immediately from a solid state to a gaseous one.
Hey, it's the thing I just explained. But also,
damn it.
you don't know what atmospheres are?
I didn't know you could count. Like, I didn't know atmosphere was like a
Yeah.
countable thing.
The normal air pressure on Earth that we just normally experience is
Yes.
1 atmosphere. And so
Have we ever found like several atmosphere, like
Yeah,
a 7
it's-
atmosphere planet?
one of the ways that helped me contextualize this is the fact that when I was playing Mass Effect, you would scan all the different planets and go around on them. They'll tell you the atmospheric pressure of every planet you go to in that sidebar thing that pops up.
Oh, I didn't read
So
that.
they're like this is 0.8 ATM and this is 1.3 ATM and stuff like that, and it just has more or less air pressure than Earth.
1.3.
Yeah, I mean that means it has 30% higher atmospheric pressure, and like a 2 ATM would be double and stuff like that.
Wait, so
It's just like how you deal with the.
it wouldn't be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
It's a ratio.
Oh,
So 1 is Earth, 2 is double Earth, 0.5 is half Earth. It's like a fraction.
okay.
So like if something has 1.3
It's
ATM,
very-
then it's 30% higher atmospheric pressure than Earth.
Very small-minded measurement system,
And
just based only on Earth. You
Yeah.
can't just find like a.
We do that a lot. We named our Earth Earth and our sun Sun. So like we really think we're hot shit. But yeah, like if you have like a gas tank, you have a measurable pressure in a
I've just never seen
propane
gas
tank.
pressure, or I guess I've never seen like propane being a point, like a 0 point something. I always see it as like.
Well, there's other ways of measuring it too.
I always see it as like whole numbers. That's why it
Yeah.
was confusing.
There's multiple ways of measuring all things, but atmosphere is one of them.
I didn't know you
Because
can measure an atmosphere. That's silly.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
silly
it's
to
just
me.
you just measure air pressure of our atmosphere.
You don't have to worry about it because other planets don't have atmosphere.
A lot of them don't. Well, a lot of them have a lot of atmosphere, like fucking Jupiter.
Does it?
It's a lot of atmosphere.
I didn't know Jupiter has
It's
atmosphere.
like all atmosphere. It's like all it is.
oh,
It's
you
just
need.
an atmosphere floating in space.
I thought atmosphere.
Atmosphere does not mean it's livable.
I thought that's what it meant. I
No.
thought atmosphere meant it was hospitable.
No, it's just the stuff that's above the Earth. That's
like
part,
clouds.
Yeah,
So it just has like.
that's part of a celestial body is the gases and stuff that are in it.
So it just has.
Because like stuff like Jupiter.
So Jupiter just has a bunch of fucking clouds, but no oxygen.
I mean, Jupiter's basically just clouds.
the whole planet.
Yeah.
Or is it a planet then?
You know that most of the planets outside of the outside
asteroid
of the
belt.
asteroid belt are gas giants. They're called gas giants because they're basically just balls of gas.
There's just like no solid to them.
Not really. There might be cores in some of them. It's kind of hard to tell, or I'm out of date. But also, the sun
Wait, can we
is
just
a gas giant.
can we just drive through them?
The gas is just a giant, very dense cloud.
We could just drive through Saturn.
Good luck.
Good luck. What? It's not. You said it's just gas.
Well, it's significantly higher pressure and significantly higher gravity than an Earth, I think.
So is it like actually solid?
And some of these
because
planets
of
have
it?
constant storms inside them and like lightning storms and like really dangerous
How do you have a
problems.
lightning storm around gas. That's so weird.
How is that weird?
Okay, so you had like,
Lightning,
so-
lightning storms are already just caused by like
No.
charge differences in gas
I'm
clouds.
saying that like so there's a fart in space, and that fart has such dense gravity that it's like it looks like a solid fart. and, and so, so that solid fart is sitting there, and on that fart there's like a cloud that's like doing a lightning storm on the fart. There's like a
Not on the fart. It's inside the fart.
oh, it's in the fart. Wait, is there a
Our atmosphere is a single continuous thing.
is there a planet
all
with
the part you can see through is still the atmosphere too. It's not just the clouds.
yeah, but is there like an actual chunk of solid inside of Saturn, or is Saturn
There may or may not be, but lightning doesn't have to hit a solid.
what? You just have a thunderstorm floating out in fucking space?
Have you never seen lightning storms before?
in space?
No, just on Earth. They often
Yeah, but-
they often don't even go near the surface.
Well, I'm saying they don't fly out into fucking space.
They're often just random bolts of lightning going in random directions on the sky.
Well, the point I'm
it's
making is
just
that it
but it's
seems
just in
weird
the
that
cloud.
gas could have an atmosphere.
The gas is the atmosphere.
Wait, Saturn is just atmosphere? There's nothing else there?
Plus or minus a core I may not know about, but yeah, they're mostly gas places.
Then how does it have fucking color and it's just clouds?
Yeah, they can have color. We have clouds that are white. Like those are a color.
Look, when you look at Saturn, it's like fucking yellow and shit. There's like a copious amount of piss in the ground that's sucking up into clouds?
I mean, it has to do with its chemical makeup and also how light interacts with said makeup and when it's passing through it and stuff like that, or bouncing off of it.
They're fucking stupid.
Light's weird.
Just get rid of them then.
What?
You can't live on Saturn then if it's just fucking gas.
Not really. No, that's the entire premise of Empire Strikes Back with the Cloud City. They're on a planet that's a gas giant. They can't go down to the surface. There isn't one.
Why would you just get rid of it?
Because they mine resources from those planets.
So there's a ground.
No, I mean they mine the gas. There's gases can be resources.
Just put a fucking giant vacuum.
You can want helium and whatnot.
You could, but just put a vacuum in there and then just suck it all up and put it in a bottle and fly away. Get rid of
Yeah, but they live there. They have a port.
Just get rid of the fucking... It's a waste of space then. Just get a new one.
What?
You could put like a moon there or something. You can make an artificial planet.
You can make... What the fuck are you saying?
I'm saying there's like a...
Wait, what?
There's a perfectly good waste of space in our fucking solar system because there's fart in the air. And I don't want this giant fart sitting there orbiting the sun for no reason.
Your concern is that gas planets take up too much space?
Yeah!
Do you know how big space is?
Not big enough.
It's like infinitely space.
Well, I don't want infinite... I don't want infinite
Even
amounts of
within
space
the solar
filled with...
system, it's incomprehensibly large.
But I don't want it filled with fucking farts. I just get them out of there.
This is the dumbest conversation I've ever had, but I know I taught you things and I feel good about that. Because I did teach you things today.
That's what all of my teachers wrote on my report cards.
Yeah, it's like, that's what all your teachers thought. I'm like, fuck it, I taught them something. And I probably taught someone in the audience something too.
So why are we talking about...
And other people are mad at me for being wrong.
I didn't know that solid states could be gaseous.
Yeah.
They need some Tums.
I think somebody in a few sentences ago said at ATM, and you questioned measuring atmosphere, so I explained that, and then we got to gas giants, and we've been just doing a podcast for 10 minutes. Because that's what this series is podcast with a side of visual novel. I can't just, we've said this before at this point in the series, but I can't just sit here and press A in silence for like 3 hours and then not say anything. So like, this is the form this series takes, for the better or worst. And I'm having fun.
It's better than fucking listening to fucking June talk about mummies.
If I'm having fun, hopefully other people are having fun.
God.
See, that is weird. Water's a liquid between 32 degrees and 212 degrees. So why isn't that the case for carbon
I
dioxide?
really feel
There's
fucking
a kind
stupid.
of
Why?
ice
I don't
that
know this
doesn't
by
turn
default.
into
Why do these people
liquid
know
when
this
it
by
goes
default?
above 32 degrees.
You don't know the boiling point and freezing points of water?
No.
A lot of people know that.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
A lot of people at least know 32 degrees is where it freezes. And if you cook with water, you probably know at some point that it boils like at that point above 100 and everything.
I feel like the way my brain works is kind of useless. Like
Yeah,
I know
it's really. What happened to your good memory of numbers from the beginning of the series?
No,
where
I have
was
a good
like,
memory
"Whoa,
of
what's
numbers.
wrong?"
I can't remember, like, that's actually concise information, though. So, like, 32 degrees is the melting point of something. I don't remember that anymore. I'll remember
freezing point.
I remember,
and melt. Yeah, right, and melting, because where the ice melts.
Because that's the thing, is, like, I won't remember the rest of that. I'll remember the number 32, but I won't remember the rest of the information. That all goes away. So, like, I can convert Fahrenheit to Celsius, but I can't remember what things freeze or melt at, because that's extra information my brain won't, like, remember.
Can you convert Celsius to Fahrenheit? You know that much?
Yeah, so I know, like, 100 is 32 Celsius? So 100 degrees is 32 Celsius, I want to say?
No.
Or no, it's 30 Celsius?
Wait. I'm thinking about it backwards. 32, the freezing point of water, 32 degrees Fahrenheit, is also 0 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. So... Oh, so it's off by 30.
It's not off by 30. There's like you have to filter the refraction.
Oh, okay.
It's fucked.
Because I was gonna say I do know that like 100
You have to like multiply it by a fraction of like something over something, and then also add it or subtract a number. It's a 2-step process to converting.
Yeah,
it's really frustrating.
I want to say
so. I have gone a long way without ever actually remembering it, and I still have to look it up because of how rarely I have to convert.
Well,
I'm ashamed.
I still don't know when or what temperature things freeze or melt at.
Not even from earlier this conversation? You forgot already?
32?
And?
That's for what? Water?
Yeah, and what is it? What does it do? What does it do at 32? That's all I got for today, folks.
Melts?
I heard about it. Its melting point is 96
Shit.
degrees.
Well,
Not water.
Ice
Oh.
with a melting point of 96 degrees?
You mean there's water that freezes at 96 degrees?
Yeah, well, you could also look at it as ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees.
So what's this ice with a melting point of 96 degrees called?
I heard it's called
Right.
ice-9.
It's the number 9 again.
Giottomate. Somebody sat here, like somebody fucking sat here and was like, how much things?
Maybe they just Googled the number 9.
How much things end with 9?
Maybe they have a Google alert tracker for the number 9.
Some asshole sat here and was like, we're gonna put ice in a freezer, but that ice is gonna be called ice-9. And some guy was like, good, it keeps with that 9 thing I want going. Like, God damn it.
ice-9?
ice-9, baby.
Originally, ice-9 was a made-up substance invented by a science fiction author. But recently, scientists have discovered that such a substance actually exists.
Wait,
was
hold
he auto-writing?
God damn it, don't bring back auto writing. I can't take it. It's auto writing. And when everyone saw the auto writing, their ability to identify ice-9 went up by 2%.
So is this thing called ice-9 or is it water?
Like I said,
Both.
if the ice is over 96 degrees, it'll be liquid. If it's under that, it'll solidify.
I mean,
So you could think of it as
ice is
a
still
polymorph
water.
of H2O.
polymorph.
You think polymorph means something else, don't you?
Doesn't that just mean it can transform? It's like a multi. What's it called? It's like just take multiple shapes.
I'm pretty sure a polymorph is a different molecular structure that has the same molecular contents. So it would still be H2O, and then it's 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen, but it's a different shape than the normal, like, weird little bent line shape that it
So
normally
like a
takes.
ditto.
Like a ditto.
So a ditto is still a ditto,
yeah, it's
but
like
it
a
looks.
Pikachu, but it's got a frowny face on it.
Yeah, it's still a ditto, but it just looks like a Pikachu.
Yeah. Well, it's not. It's not. Well, no, it is. It is water still.
That's what I'm saying.
It
It's
looks
still
different.
a ditto. It just looks like a
Oh.
Pikachu.
Where you're talking. Where in this metaphor, water is ditto,
Yeah.
and Pikachu is something else.
Yeah. So it just
Kind
looks.
of.
It looks like something else, but it's still water at the end of the day.
Except it's not a copy of something because the Pikachu doesn't exist.
Well,
It's just something.
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying though.
It was a very confusing metaphor, but I got it.
The
I figured it
concept.
out.
Yeah.
Here, think of it like diamonds and graphite.
Oh, or she'll just give us.
That
an
is the
idea.
perfect example. Yeah, basically. 'Cause
I-
diamonds and graphite are literally just carbon.
I'll
They're
believe
made of
you.
carbon.
They're
I'll believe
both made
you.
of carbon, right? But depending on the structure of the crystallization, the hardness and structure are completely different.
Although my issue here is that from talking about polymorphs in water,
I am so
I don't know.
lost.
The issue I take here,
I did not focus on any of this in school.
talked about polymorphs. I thought we were talking about molecular structure, but we're talking about crystal structure now, like on a geologic scale. Like that's
It's a little
different.
different, isn't it? Isn't that like over
'cause it's not-
time?
It's not the. It doesn't talk about it doesn't talk about the structure of the individual molecule. It's literally how the molecules are attaching to each other.
Well, yeah, because isn't like with rocks, isn't it based on a lot more factors than just? Because like molecules are just the way they
Well, no,
are.
it's more like we're talking
But-
about. We're talking about the structure of the crystallization. So in this case, we're kind of talking about like fitting different Legos together.
Yeah.
Like if you have one, like we're just talking about carbon here, so it's really simple. So imagine you have one. You just have one Lego type.
Yes.
And you have a giant pool of one type of Lego, and you're just attaching them to each other in a regular pattern. So like imagine on one of them, you just like it's like the 2x3 Lego, and you just stick it to the end of over the last 2 of it sideways or something.
Yeah.
And then you're just rotating around, and you just fill it in that way on that regular pattern. And then then you go back and you do it slightly different. Like maybe you do like the 3 on one side, and then you just go with lengthwise straight down it and match it that way. It's like you're just fitting it together 2 different ways, then following the regular pattern forever. Those would be polymorphs of each other, basically. They're different crystallizations of the same base component.
okay.
And the idea here is that it's this is where I'm just gonna give it as an example without knowing for sure if it's true or not. But let's say that like graphite is an easier state to accomplish. It takes less energy to become a graphite crystal, and like so it's just like they just clump together and it's easy. That's the lazy way. But then the other way takes more energy to create, which is the diamond. And so that means that if you took graphite and put under great pressure, the added energy could recrystallize the structure as diamond. It's literally just a different way of fitting it together, but...
So you're saying the temperature... So the temperature is what changes...
Not necessarily temperature, but pressure.
Well, no. For
it can
rocks,
be both, though.
for rocks, it's pressure, but I'm saying
it can be both, basically.
But for
yeah.
ice-9, it's temperature that changes its state.
Kind of, yeah.
But, so, like, it changes it from H2O that looks different to H2O that looks normal by temperature.
Yeah.
But, and you're saying the crystallization is by pressure,
one of the reasons why things have different structures like this is because, like, have you heard about, like, how the universe favors entropy, and it wants to decay and fall apart, and
yes.
it goes to lowest possible energy states whenever it can?
Yeah, it's lazy.
So, if something's going to fit together, it's going to fit together on the laziest way possible, unless something's acting on it to force it into a higher state.
Yeah, which is what, like, that's, like, the elements that we've created. The non-natural elements on our table are elements that we force together.
Yeah,
because
so the
they're too
idea
lazy
here
to be
is that
created.
regular water that we know just generates normally, but like in a lab or under extreme conditions, like ice-9 could happen.
Yeah.
And then that's weirdly, apparently, a very hard to melt ice.
So that's what
never heard of before.
So that's what
but
the
their
mummy was made out
explanation
of.
is making sense, kind of. That's what's made of?
That's what the mummy was made out of.
We can't keep going back to the mummy. How do you know it's not the dog? How do you know the dog didn't sink Titanic? That's why they couldn't paint real pictures of it. Leo's like, it's like, paint me like one of your French dogs. Like, Leo's like, I'm drowning.
You like painted it with like watercolor? What a
Yeah.
very fitting end.
It's like watercolor in my grave.
Yeah. He just throws like some red into the fucking ocean and dips a paintbrush into it. It was like, good enough.
So you're saying normal water and this ice-9 are like that?
Yup. Have you heard the story about the crystallization of glycerin? For
I am so sorry we
150
picked up this
years
ice pack.
after the discovery of glycerin,
I'm so
people
sorry
cooled
we
it,
did this.
warmed it.
I do have to wonder if it's going to go anywhere, or if it's going to be like the several previous anecdotes that seem to be completely unconnected to anything in the entire game.
They just want
just
to talk.
happen.
They just want to tell you cool science facts that you probably didn't know.
We gotta bump up that playtime, man.
That's one way to pad.
They did all sorts of things to it. But whatever they did, it never crystallized. However, one day in 1920, some glycerin on its way to England
little
by
fucking
ship
flashback
was
about
discovered to
fucking
have
goddamn
crystallized
rocks?
during the trip. Scientists around the world wanted to research this new crystallized form of glycerin and asked for seeds. Oh, a seed is a sample of the original crystallized substance.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, I
With a seed
don't think that's
crystal,
how rocks
further
work.
crystallization
You can't
of
just grow
glycerin
rocks
would
from the
be
ground.
easy.
So when I talked about how they build it just a regular pattern like that, and like once you start the crystal, it just keeps going based on that framework.
Yeah.
That's what a seed is for a crystal. Like they take a base amount of crystal and try to keep growing it. So they'll try to break it into a bunch of pieces and then send them out to people, and they'll try to each continue to grow their crystal into the same constructs. Which
That's scary.
no, stop bark! No, don't bark, Andrew. Bad dog.
So basically, the idea would be that, so they're
Had to get up and close the door.
which seems really concerning. So they're taking like a bunch of, they would like find the original sample and then just like break off like multiple pieces of it, send it out to multiple people, and you're like, all right, it's a race to grow it. And so like they're all trying to make it keep growing as much as possible, and whoever grows it the longest is.
Oh, well, they weren't really competing, were they? Everyone just wanted to study a sample of it.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying you want to.
What essentially happens is, I believe you kind of just make us this like, you basically just create like a pool of water that has the crystal in it, and then then you try to add like the like chemical components that the crystal contains, so that it can continue to add that to the crystal basically, and then you have subjected it to the correct like temperature and pressure, hopefully, so that it can continue to grow.
Sounds like a terrible side project.
That's
a long
science. I don't know if the water is actually involved. I was guessing.
But I'm saying, like, that's a long project where you're just like, you have
I know
a piece.
just enough about this stuff to know how much I don't know, which is really frustrating.
I'm just saying, like, that sounds like a lot of work because it's just a piece, and then you're like, it's like almost you're trying to meticulously repaint a painting. Like you have, it's like you see it. You can see the molecules build up of this.
It's almost like
crystallization.
you're looking at the Mona Lisa and one corner is painted, and you just have a bunch of paint next to it, and you're hoping it paints the rest.
Yeah, you're hoping that it's like you can slowly be like, come on, just
kind of.
more
But this
brown.
but we're talking about like geologic crystals or DNA and other stuff where like there's certain things in life that are kind of self-replicating and kind of follow a framework.
Yeah.
So you kind of can rely upon it, but you have to learn
But
how.
but that's still a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like
It's almost like science is hard.
it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Humans are the best.
Fucking burn my degree.
Just have robots do it.
Take it out. Use it to wipe people's asses. Look good it's doing me now, I guess.
I mean, look
Now
how
I'm just teaching.
Yeah, but look how much you're
Yeah,
gonna.
my degree lets me teach mostly semi-inaccurate geologic lessons to anonymous people on the internet.
That's all they need.
This is the equivalent of me trying to tell you German sentences like 8 years after not taking any German classes
Isn't that
anymore.
basically what Crash Course is?
I'm pretty sure that the Crash Course channel is based on research and careful put together scripts. They have like a bunch of credits at the end.
I heard they messed up in sometimes.
We gotta keep. Everyone does. We gotta keep going.
However,
No,
something
everyone
very
poops.
strange
Not everyone
happened.
messes up, Keith.
Not everyone poops.
Everyone does poop. Literally. It's not up for debate. You can't debate about what does and doesn't poop. Everyone poops.
Not
See?
only did the glycerin encouraged by seed crystals begin to crystallize, even the samples nearby did, even though they were tightly sealed. And it didn't end there.
What?
After that day, it doesn't matter where in the world it is. All glycerin crystallizes naturally when cooled to less than 64 degrees. Before that day, no matter how glycerin was cooled, it refused to crystallize.
What
But
the fuck?
once the
Wait, are you
crystallization
arguing
had
that it
begun,
evolved?
What the fuck?
Chris,
it was almost like... How do I put it?
glycerin?
It was almost like all the glycerin in the world was communicating.
No, it wasn't. It's like
Oh no!
It's
this
like-
is how you start. This is how you get people to believe in that homeopathy.
Are you saying that glycerin just like talk to each other and we're like, hey yo, man, 64 degrees, really comfortable. Let's all hang out there.
June believes in curses and homeopathy. No.
I'm assuming.
Why is she the love interest? I hate her.
I would assume glycerin only hardens at 64 degrees after it didn't before because there was some other element involved with that. Like
They're probably doing it wrong, or like.
well, you found a strain of glycerin, or you found glycerin that happened to be exposed to some other element that
I feel like they're
made
probably
it so
either
it worked.
doing it wrong, or there was like an impurity or something, or this is like one of those just made up bullshit Snapple cap
They
stories.
also fucking said it was like 19 something. They didn't have that great technology back then.
Yeah, they're still working on penicillin. I don't remember when penicillin was, but that was like.
Penicillin was like,
But that was an accident.
I think, well, it wasn't an accident. It's always been around. It was an accident to be that someone was like, oh, that's good.
Yeah, we just accidentally discovered penicillin one day.
We accidentally discovered mold on bread. Yeah, that was an accident.
Well, they were doing literally different. They were doing completely different science in that lab, and then it got infected with penicillin. Like outside contaminants got in the petri dishes, and they started growing it. And they're like, "Fuck is this?" And then we discovered penicillin. It was just an accident. Ooh.
It's always been with us.
Yeah, but we just didn't know about it. That's what discover means.
You didn't notice
I
all
didn't
those
say-
damn
I
peasants
didn't
seem to
say that-
survive somehow?
I didn't say they invented it. I said they discovered it. It's different.
No.
Communicating in some way that we can't sense.
No. Rocks
And
can't
now
communicate.
It's happening everywhere.
I'm sorry. Did you play that one game I can't remember the name of right now?
Probably not. But rocks don't.
Swapper?
I did play Swapper.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a better line if I remembered the word swapper in that sentence.
Rocks can't
But instead,
communicate.
yeah, the rocks communicate.
No,
The
they
Taki rocks. That was like the premise or something.
What?
Oh,
Oh. And now it's happening everywhere.
was honestly impressed.
Oh,
was kind of annoyed.
What was our reaction to this?
Annoyed?
Okay, well,
What does that have to do with ice-9?
What she's saying is that it's a lot like ice-9. What happened, I mean.
A lot like? Oh, that would be bad. If water everywhere started freezing at 96 degrees, man.
It'd be the end of the world. At any rate, we're not gonna have to worry about the end of the world unless we can get out of here pretty damn quick.
You're under the assumption that, like...
It would definitely be bad because we would literally cease to have ice caps.
Well, yeah, but you would... That's like... That would have to be under the fucking assumption that somehow...
Oh wait, they said freeze under 96. No, we'd cease to have an ocean.
Yes, we would cease to have an ocean, but
everything
like...
would just be frozen solid. We would be an ice ball.
You would have to, like, somehow...
It'd be like Pluto.
You would have to assume that all the ocean's molecules would purposefully change themselves.
Well, that was the premise of his claim, was like it would be bad if all of the world's water was...
Yeah,
like,
but,
you
but
can't...
she's saying that glycerin just, like, decided to change itself one day. And it's like, no, it's the way it is. Something outside changed glycerin.
I agree. Her premise is bullshit. But he is saying if that happened, that would suck.
No, I know. Right. I'm saying, but he has a fucking tone as if like what she's trying to say is that water could possibly do that. No, it can't possibly do that.
The writer of 999 might be kind of a lunatic.
You thought so?
These are the characters that came out of him.
These are my children. They're perfect.
They're perfect. They're each a part of myself.
God,
what a suck.
Oh, if you put all these people together, I would hate this person.
You make the worst person.
It's like the worst Captain Planet ever. Skepticism,
so
mysticism.
The secret is you need to kick all these different pieces of yourself out, then kill all of them except for Ace, and then now it's you. It's like the movie Identity.
We haven't actually spent.
Do you remember Identity?
We haven't spent time with Ace. No,
Oh, don't ruin Ace. You remember the movie Identity, right?
I think so.
Where the entire movie takes place inside of the split personality of a dangerous criminal.
Oh,
and the personalities are fighting over supremacy, basically. And like, one of them's the killer. Which one is it? Ooh. It's like, that's what this is. The 999 is just identity. 0 is actually the psyche of all the people. All the people are inside of 0. Oh my god, what if I just cracked the entire story wide open?
And whoever gets out through door 9 is
new 0?
Yeah.
What if I just cracked the code of the entire game?
That would probably upset me.
I feel like that almost make more sense than all the shit that's happening so far. It at least makes sense. It help explain why these people are nonsense people.
It would explain why Junpei is like middle of the road.
Yeah, but it also make me question how the hell sequels happened.
Well, because they happen because there's other people. This is just from one person's psyche.
Yeah,
I mean,
like Silent Hill.
Yeah, there's other people's psyche in the world.
Every single game is the Silent Hill of someone's identity movie.
Yeah, I mean, Silent Hill makes literally no sense in that regard because it's like, why does a town?
It's a metaphor because it's all based on Jacob's Ladder, which is an insane movie. Have you seen it?
But it's like a town that changes for every person that shows up to it. Like that's a lot of work. I wouldn't want to be that town.
Well, because it's not a real town.
Nothing's real. But what's your point?
Nothing's real. No, I mean it's literally not a real town. You go there and
there's a Silent Hill somewhere.
Yeah, there is. But when you visit the real location, Silent Hill, you get sucked into like a hell dimension based on your psyche. It's like the movie Jacob's Ladder, which makes about as much sense as you. Yes, those games suck. I mean, the stuff that happens to them is really bad.
That must be like terrible for tourists.
Pyramid Head.
Keep going.
Visit Silent Hill, lose yourself and your family.
Unless you're a girl.
All right,
then
guys.
you'll become the new queen.
I think that's enough of that. I didn't think we'd get quite this far off topic.
Neither did we.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm kind of at fault here, but we can't be screwing around anymore.
Yeah, are you guys still alive?
Seriously. I might go by the name Santa right now, but I didn't grow up in Iceland.
Joke's on you. You're thinking of Greenland.
Did Santa grow up in Iceland? I thought he was in Antarctica.
He's not real.
No, this is really important.
Maybe he's Russian.
Wait, no, I thought Santa actually came from... Oh, no, he did come from Iceland.
He came...
No, he's right. Santa's right.
Sure.
No, Santa was like a folklore in Iceland.
I freaking hate the cold.
Like Saint Nick was.
So let's get cracking, all right? We gotta find a way out of here.
Selfish, isn't he?
Get cracking.
Selfish? We're trying not to freeze to death.
Get cracking, like the ice that's on the door.
Can
we just stay here and kill ourselves?
Can I just undo the ice with my knife that I just sharpened?
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
I was like, why don't you just take your knife?
Interesting and all, but we can discuss it more once we get out of this freezer.
Seriously, how did this entire tangent even happen?
Because you grabbed a bag of fucking ice.
We're in the most lethal situation that's ever happened to us outside of the 1 minute of getting to the door whenever we do the bracelet thing, and we're like, let's have a 50-minute conversation about ice-9.
Keith,
which sounds like a band name.
These are literally the people that have wasted 9 fucking hours doing nothing.
Yeah, first playthrough. We have a 9-hour playthrough, and we got down to the last hour, so we still have like a whole hour left.
We couldn't even get through every
But
fucking door.
Our first playthrough ended with the characters having spent 8 hours doing what little we had done at that point. Oh man. There we go. Yeah, that was a long conversation for not a lot of reason. Yeah, their tangents are like their tangents they go on are already kind of weird, but they reach a level of self-parody when it starts happening when they're both dying in a freezer.
Yeah.
That's really weird.